Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. We are on Adi Leela, chapter 7. We have been reading the purport to text 128, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we continue reading. We have been hearing the glories of the Omkar and how the Omkar is the sound representation of Krishna. So, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Arpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. This is in Shikshashtakam. Shikshashtakam, which is the 8 verses left behind in written form by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his instructions. Lord Chaitanya's instructions. All potencies are invested in the holy vibration of the holy name of the Lord. There is no doubt that the holy name of the Lord, or Omkar, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tata Arpita Niyamate Smaranena Kalaha. Lord Chaitanya says, my dear Lord, your holy name has all your potencies. All your potencies are there in your holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. And that's how our position is. The holy name of God is God Himself, but we have no attraction to chant the holy name. In other words, anyone who chants Omkar and the holy name of the Lord Hare Krishna immediately meets the Supreme Lord directly in His sound form. In the Narad Pancharatra, it is clearly said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan personally appears before the chanter who engages in chanting the Ashtakshara or 8-syllable mantra Om Namo Narayanaya. A similar statement is in the Mandukya Upanishad declares that whatever one sees in the spiritual world is all an expansion of the spiritual potency of Omkar. So Omkar is the sound representation of Krishna, Krishna's name and he himself are non-different. It's inconceivable to us. We cannot imagine what does it even mean. Because in the material world, when we say Coca-Cola, for example, we are not drinking it. We can't taste it. It's not quenching our thirst. But when we are saying the name of Krishna, Govinda, Rama, Om, that is God Himself. That is God Himself in His sound form. So one may say, well, Narad Pancharatra says that you chant Om Namo Narayanaya and you can meet God. So I'm going to chant Om Namo Narayanaya. Well, it's good, chant it, very good. But better chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Why? Because it is specifically given for this age of Kali. For this age of Kali, especially recommended for us to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to quickly bring us back home, back to Godhead. On the basis of all the Upanishads, Srila Jiva Goswami says that Omkar is the supreme absolute truth and is accepted as such by all the acharyas and authorities. So the acharyas, the pure devotees, they accept the truth that Omkar is God in the form of sound. Now one may say, oh, how can God become sound? So if God has become sound, then God is no more a person. But we are putting our limitation to God then. We are saying, oh, only Om, when I'm saying Om means that this is God, and then God cannot be a person anymore. That means we don't understand God. God means unlimited. Unlimited. He can be, in the form of a sound and yet a person. Why not? Omkar is beginningless, changeless, supreme, and free from deterioration and external contamination. Omkar is the origin, middle, and end of everything. And any living entity who thus understands Omkar attains the perfection of spiritual identity in Omkar. Omkar, being situated in everyone's heart, is Ishvara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 61. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesha Arjuna Tishtati. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 61, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddesha Arjuna Tishtati. I am seated in the heart of everyone, directing the wanderings. So Krishna is there as Paramatma in everyone. And Omkar is God himself. So he's there in our heart. Omkar is as good as Vishnu because Omkar is as all-pervasive as Vishnu. So Om is also Vishnu and the person Vishnu is also Vishnu. Both are God. It doesn't mean that because Om is God, that God cannot be a person. No, both are God. God is one. There's not many gods. There are not two gods. God is one. He just simply has expanded himself. One who knows Omkar and Lord Vishnu to be identical no longer has to lament or hanker. One who chants Omkar no longer remains a Shudra, but immediately comes to the position of a Brahmana. Simply by chanting Omkar, one can understand the whole creation to be one unit or an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Lord. Idam hi Vishwam Bhagwan evetaro yato jagat sthan nirodha sambhavaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is himself this cosmos, and still he's aloof from it. From him only this cosmic manifestation has emanated, in him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. So this material world is God's energy. And just because he has created the material world does not mean that he's not a person anymore. Doesn't mean that because he's used his energy to create the material world, now finish, now no more being a person. It's like I use my energy to cook something and I prepare like a feast, chapan bhog. So now I'm not a person anymore. Why? I just created all this with my energy. I'm still there, right? So then, Bhagavatam 1.5.20. Although one who does not understand concludes otherwise, Srimad Bhagavatam states that the entire cosmic manifestation is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Lord. So everything is God's energy. We have to understand that God has many energies. God is omnipotent. Realization of this is possible simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Omkar. So, how can we understand God? Is by chanting the holy name. And Omkar and Hare Krishna mantra is the same, but we are recommended in this age of Kali to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One should not, however, foolishly conclude that because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is omnipotent, we have manufactured a combination of letters Om to represent him. Factually, the transcendental sound Omkar, although a combination of the three letters A, U, and M, has transcendental potency, and one who chants Omkar will very soon realize Omkar and Lord Vishnu to be non-different. So it's not that it's made up, not that somebody just made up and said AUM and that means God. No, it's really God. It's God himself. Krishna declares Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. So nobody else says that I'm the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. Only Krishna says that. All the Vedic mantras start with the syllable Om. Immediately pointing out, immediately addressing the Lord. All the prayers are for addressing to the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 7.8, one should therefore conclude that among the many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Omkar is the sound incarnation. So God incarnates sometimes as Nishingadev, Lord Ramachandra, Matsya Avatar, Varaha Avatar, Kurma Dev, so many. So many. God has so many incarnations. Similarly, He also incarnates as a sound vibration, which is the Omkar. And the Hare Krishna mantra, that is God Himself. It's Krishna Himself, non-different. All the Vedas accept this thesis. So this is not just somebody's making up anything. No, it is Vedic, it's based in the Shastra. It's a fact. It's not somebody's imagination. One should always remember that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are always identical. Abhinatvan nama namino. Oh. Since Omkar is the basic principle of all Vedic knowledge, it is uttered before one begins to chant any Vedic hymn. Without Omkar, no Vedic mantra is successful. The Goswamis therefore declare the pranava, Omkar, as the complete representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they have analyzed Omkar in terms of its alphabetical constituents as follows. So Omkar is God Himself. It's not that because Omkar is God, then there is no God. No, Omkar is God in the form of sound. God is a person, He has a spiritual form. And He is a sound, He has a form of a sound also. So this is the omnipotency of God. This is the power of God. This is His power. So we'll stop here for today. Are there any questions or comments? Yes. So
No.
Omkar is God. Similarly, Hare Krishna mantra is God. So that's why we are advised to chant the Hare Krishna mantra regularly. Regularly. And we can revive our love of God. Stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.